watching Rogers TV.
Welcome to this edition of Dufferin Life. I'm your host, Teena Avery. Thank you so much for tuning in. So we're getting close to that time of year where the sun comes out a little bit more, it gets a little bit warmer, and we start thinking about things like gardening and outside things to do and things around the house. And what does that mean? That means the Orangeville Lions Home and Garden Show is just around the corner. Joining me today, a familiar face, but in a different role this time, Yasmin Slater from the Orangeville Lions Club. How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm very well. I love having her on the show. We were talking about it just as we came in, but you're here talking about the Home and Garden Show.
Yes.
So thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, no problem. I always enjoy being here.
I love having you all the time, for sure. So let's talk about the Home and Garden Show. We want to talk about, let's start about the special occasion that it is this year.
Yes, so this is the 25th year for the Home and Garden Show, and so we kind of celebrate the beginning of spring with it, right? Because everybody's like, you're getting out, you want to get going in your garden, like you said. You know, maybe you're thinking about some home renovations or, you know, things you want to do around the house. So it's a great place to meet a lot of local vendors and, you know, businesses that can help you with those type of projects.
Absolutely. And if you have never been, if you're new to the area, this is one of the things you need to mark on your calendar.
For sure.
When is it?
It is April 5th to 7th at the Orangeville Fairgrounds. And bonus, it's free.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Free parking, free admission.
And they've got a lot of parking. That's the best thing. You go to an event and you're like, I can't find anywhere to park, and you walk about 14 miles. The parking lot is massive. If you've never been there, there are, we'll talk about how many vendors and that sort of thing and what we're looking at expecting, but there's so many different people there, so many different businesses, so many different opportunities to learn, and everything from grass to, like, I can't even begin, to barbecues, to landscaping, to you know, home renovations and kitchens and bathrooms and blinds, and I'm just going on, and you don't want to hear me talk, you want to hear Yasmin talk. So let's talk about, you know, approximately how many vendors and what we can expect this year.
So we're looking at about 190 vendors at the show, which is, it's great. It would take probably an hour and a bit to go around to visit everybody. I mean, if you really get talking to somebody, though, you could be there for a while.
If you're there with me, then you're there for at least 4 hours.
Yeah. So like you mentioned, like we have a lot of landscapers that come in, people that windows, doors, roofers, you know, anything that does to do with a house, like heating and air conditioning. If you want to look to downsizing, right? Or you're looking for new property, we have some local real estate agents that will be there too. And we also have some personal wellness people there too. So like if you're, you know, something for, you want to renovate yourself a little bit too, maybe.
Well, you know what, that's really, it's a valid point. Like, I mean, we often run around nonstop, and we often are taking care of others or helping to take care of others, and just, a lot of the times you don't spend that time to take care of yourself. So why not get that information? Because as a person who's doing that herself and actually spending a little bit more time on me, you can't learn enough. Like, there's just,
it's good for your soul.
It is. It just brings that smile to your face. And then you go talk to your landscaper and get that all taken care of too at the same time.
Yeah, and this is a big fundraiser for the Lions Club, because we do a lot of support a lot of projects and other organizations in the community, right? So this is one of our big fundraisers, along with TV Bingo too, which is another Tuesday night special in Orangeville.
Absolutely, right here on Rogers, here on Rogers on Tuesday. Yes.
Yeah. So a lot of the money we raise goes back into projects, or projects that the Lions Club supports, like province-wide or internationally as well. So it's a great cause, and that's why we love having local businesses come out, and we can connect people in the community too, right? To keep things local and help support our local businesses, right?
Yeah.
Instead of like big companies, it's nice to support
entrepreneurs
in town.
We talk about it all the time here on the show, the importance of supporting local, and this gives you an opportunity to meet over 100, like almost 200 local businesses that you know, are out there so that they can help you do what you need to do, and then by you helping them, by that makes sense. By you meeting with them and working with local businesses, you're helping our local economy right here in Dufferin-Caledon and surrounding.
Yeah, and we also have, if people have been there before, we have usually have someone serving food there as well. So this year we have, she's actually runs a food truck, and she's from Orangeville. Her food truck's called Cookies by Gia.
Okay.
And she does some great desserts, but also she has this new jerk chicken sandwich.
Okay.
That she's testing out this year. So I haven't had it yet, but I mean,
it sounds amazing. Divine. Like, it sounds amazing. It's like you just have to go for the jerk chicken. And we already talked about how it's free, and then you can come there and bring your money and have an amazing lunch and have some dessert.
Oh, yeah. And in the cafeteria, lunchroom area where she'll be, we also have a lot of local charities that, you know, have smaller displays, but you can go and see other groups that are doing great things in our community as well.
And you know what? I truly love it. I love that all of these different organizations kind of all work together and support each other, because there are so many things that our community needs, so many services that we need, so many organizations that give money back and provide things that the community needs. And it's just, when you walk in that room, it's just, you know that everybody's there. The majority of them are volunteers that are just giving from their heart to give back to the community.
Yeah. Yeah, and we'll also have like our own booth, Lions booth there as well. So we'll be taking donations as well if people want to support our group specifically, but we're also always looking for new members. So I'm recently new. I haven't even been with the group for a year yet.
And they threw her under the bus and made her come to do my show. Yeah.
I love being here. But it's a lot of fun. It's a great group of people. There's just over 50 of us, and everybody's out at this event. We all hands on deck because it was one of our big fundraisers. So at some point, through the setup or through the weekend, all the members will be participating and helping out. But it's a great way, and I've had a lot of fun getting involved and giving back to a community that I've been a part of my whole life. So I figured it's time to give back a little bit, and it's a great group of people and a lot of fun, and we meet twice a month and, you know, do great fundraising projects and hear about some great things too. Like different organizations come to us and do a little presentation and say, like, we're looking for this money to support this item or this project or to run part of our organization. So we're able to, you know, help them with that, and it's a great feeling.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, there's different ways that you can give back to the community. And some people don't have the time to donate.
Exactly.
Some people don't have money to donate. But what you can do, and what all of us can do, is take out your phone, share events, share what's going on in the community, share about the Home and Garden Show. You know, a lot of us do know about it, but there's also new people that have just moved to the community, or people that, you know, just haven't been aware of what's going on. So you can support these amazing groups that do these amazing things. Just by helping to spread the word.
Yeah, and we, like, all our vendors will be posted on our Facebook page, so Orangeville Lions Club on Facebook and Instagram, and we've been, every week we put up a few more that are going to be at the show, so you'll be able to go and check those out. So you can see ahead of time who's going to be there. And
absolutely, there's really hot tubs, like there's barbecue sauce. I can't even tell you. There's so many things, and like you had mentioned, there's different organizations and groups that are there. But I had the pleasure of actually shooting a show live from there last year, and just the different amount of topics and the ironwork and this and like just so many different things that you may or may not think about. Even as a homeowner, you may not think about certain things, and then you're like, oh my gosh, I never thought about doing that to my house, or these are things I could do, and oh my gosh, my grass is brown, and how do I, you know, how do you take care of that, and how do you maintain it? And all of the people that are there are so wonderful to offer information, and not just about their services, but just information in general, right? On how people, because, you know, sometimes you don't always need somebody to do it for you, but you need somebody to help guide you, and then, you know, and hopefully from there.
Yeah, and there'll be municipal services there as well, so like Dufferin County and Town of Orangeville and stuff, and they'll have, you know, people there you can talk to about issues you might have or questions, or, you know, want some information on like different initiatives they have going on. If it's an environmental initiative or something like that, they'll be there to chat about that.
Oh my gosh, I'm dating myself. Even before I did live last year, I went, I did specific interviews with people, and I just, I learned a lot of stuff from the waste recycle people, like things that you don't even realize. There's so much information that you can gather at one of these things. And then there was like a tree place, and talking about trees and planting trees and when you can plant and when honest to goodness, there's just a wealth of information. Even if you don't, maybe you don't own your own home, but maybe you just want to go out there and just see all the other people that are there as well, right? Do it. Just go out and support and help spread the word as well.
Yeah, for sure.
So, since you've become a member over the past year, what's one of your favorite things about doing that?
Oh, that's a good question. Honestly, I think it's just getting to know new people in the community, and like the jokes alone, like they're hilarious. This group of people everybody's hilarious, and it's just a lot of fun. I just love the conversation we have at night and the joking around, and it's just great camaraderie. That's the word. Just put it out there.
Absolutely, we all do that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think and not only the fundraising aspect, but we also do community engagement type things. So just going out, being out there, like we do help the food bank with food drives. So we do a food drive a couple times a year at Metro. Christmas time, we're helping the Salvation Army with their kettlebells. So just kind of things like that, just being out, not necessarily raising money for our organization, but other groups, and just showing support that way. I just love interacting. I love talking to people.
Yeah.
So it's like,
which is why we're just it's gonna be just our show from now on. We're just gonna talk and talk and talk.
Yeah.
But no, I mean,
I really, truly, it's like, it's a great group of people, and I am having a lot of fun and lots of different things to learn. Like, I'm not even a year, and I still don't know a lot of what we do, but as I learn, it amazes me even more, because Orangeville Lions this is our 75th year.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
Yeah, but we've been here in Orangeville supporting the community, and like Lions Internationals, like over 100 years they've been around. Like, what is it? 1.4 million lions in the world.
Wow.
49,000 clubs in the world internationally.
That is amazing.
We're just one.
Yeah.
Like, it kind of blows your mind how many volunteers, and that's just Lions. Like, think about all the other big service clubs around too.
But I mean, that's phenomenal, because you're talking about all of these different, you said 49,000. 49,000. Yeah. So I mean, you're talking about 49,000 clubs that are all doing the amazing things that we're doing right here in our community with our Orangeville Lions, and just supporting. Like, it's just overwhelming, and I would be very proud. It's a phenomenal organization.
It's crazy, yeah. And like you said, some people can't give money, but you can always give time too, right? And that's why I joined, because I wanted to give back and give my time to a great organization, and here I am.
And here she is. Well, I want to thank you so much for joining me today.
Yeah, of course, it's been fun.
And we'll see you out at the Home and Garden Show.
Yes.
And don't you go anywhere, we'll be right back.
This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
I'm Detective Graff. This is Detective Bateman.
She had access. She had means. She had motive.
We need to win.
We're doing this my way.
Chicago brings out the very best in all of us. Sex, money, betrayal.
I feel strongly about so many of these women.
You're in the dream now.
Canada's Got Talent, $1 million season!
Public transit, garbage pickup, parks and recreation programs, snow removal on your street. How can you stay informed about these and other important local services? Tune to City Council coverage on Rogers TV. See your community leaders at work on Rogers TV City Council coverage.
Welcome back to Dufferin Life. Thanks for staying with us. And if you're just tuning in, well, as always, you always tune in at a good time because you're going to have the opportunity to meet my next two guests. Joining me from Art as Therapy is Katie and Celeste. Thank you, ladies, so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you.
It is truly my pleasure. So I'm going to give you the opportunity to just talk a little bit about who you are and what you do. So Celeste, let's start with you.
Well, so I am an art therapist at Artist Therapy. So I've been doing art therapy for about a year and a half. I started out doing my placement as a student there, and now I'm practicing artist therapy as a therapist.
And Katie, what about you?
Yeah, so I'm currently the client care coordinator at Artist Therapy, so dealing with a lot of the admin work and just helping the therapist transition in between sessions, everything from scheduling to contacting clients and support. And I'm also studying to eventually be an art therapist as well. So
amazing.
Yeah.
So let's talk about art therapy. What is art therapy?
Yeah.
Well, Teena, that's a golden question. We get that all the time. So pretty much, I like to describe it as a combination of regular psychotherapy, talk therapy, but we also incorporate arts and anything creative into our sessions. So every session looks different for everybody, depending on like what they want to do and what they want to talk about. But the art kind of helps facilitate a conversation, communication, deeper understanding, self-esteem. So there's many different directions you can go with it.
Yeah, to Celeste's point, it's a very flexible modality. We kind of encourage clients to use all types of art mediums, whether that be paint, sculpture. A lot of the clients love to use slime. That's no,
let's go. Sorry, I'm interrupting poor Katie. I'm so sorry. Okay, slime?
Yeah, that's a big hit at our office. We go through lots of glue and all the things.
Okay,
yeah.
All right. Well, we're gonna talk a little bit more about that in a second. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I'm just like, seriously, slime. Like when I was so I'm gonna age myself incredibly here. But when I was young, they used to have slime in a garbage can, and it was this green slime that you would take and make it really crazy, rude noises like farting noises and things like that. And you would just, is that the type of slime we're talking about?
Similar. This one you kind of make from scratch. So you use, what is it, like baking soda, activator, all the things. And it's interesting. You can kind of, it's all about like the sensory aspect of it.
I can see that now. Okay. Because I'm just like, you make noises, I don't know. So this is just me. Apparently I've never done art therapy with slime, but anyways.
So it's definitely it's really fun. It's a really cool therapeutic approach.
Okay, so let's talk about, we're gonna talk a little bit about different types of services and how they work and that sort of thing. But when we're talking about art as therapy through art and using the different modalities and stuff, I mean, people are normally working through issues or something that's going on in their lives that they really need a little bit of support and helpful, which is absolutely phenomenal, by the way, that there are organizations that will help people, and we're getting past that stigmatism of not being able to talk to people and that sort of thing. But can art therapy bring out big emotions?
Absolutely. I think since it's a form of psychotherapy, it even provides sort of that safe space. So if someone is intimidated of strictly just chatting with a therapist, it allows you to express emotions without speech. So it just provides an activity in that sense. So it can be beneficial in that way too. Yeah.
Well, let's talk about who can benefit from art therapy.
Really anybody, any age, any ability. Everyone's welcome to come and just try it out. Some people love using it for just exploration of their creative side, or they might use it to kind of develop understanding of themselves and maybe the things they are going through and how they can connect that to how their relationships play out. They can create creative stories. They can paint what emotion might look like to them, or how it feels, and getting those sensations and in the mind and body kind of out on paper in a creative sense is like pretty beneficial for a lot of people.
And you know what, I can actually see that. Like, I'm just thinking of some of my emotions. I'm a very emotional human being, but I can imagine just trying to express myself, be it paint or whatever, what it might look like. I don't know, but let's talk about that. So what type of art, like you talked about different modalities, but tell me a little bit more about how people work through it and what they do.
Yeah, I think it depends on the client. Like, it's a very client-driven, it's a way for them to tap into their inner strength, so it's kind of led by them. And Celeste can probably speak to it better than I can, because you're actually in the in the sessions.
So every day, every session looks a little bit different. We kind of categorize the art materials into two different categories. So we have more of the controlled art materials. So that would be your pencils and your pens, something that is less messy. And then we have the other art materials that are maybe less controlled. So that'll be paint and clay, watercolors. So we kind of feel like it really depends. Some clients prefer to have an art material that they can really control the outcome of it. Other people are more explorative and want to try something that's a little bit more messy, and those can bring out different feelings and emotions about, oh my gosh, I wanted to create art and it wanted to look this way, but maybe it didn't turn out right. So what do you do with that feeling that it brings up? Even just through the process of making, and then after the final product, and then it kind of boost self-esteem, and they can feel proud of what they've created in the session.
Absolutely. And I can see that, like I can see where if you create something that's not what you wanted, where you're bringing out that emotion and your frustration of like, that's not what I wanted, but why did it come out this way, and having a look at how that process happens. I think you guys have some samples of some of the artwork that, can we have a look at those?
Yeah, we sure do. So we have a few here. So again, every session is going to look different, but these are some samples that we ourselves have made. We like to keep client art confidential always.
Of course, of course.
So these are some examples of things that might be done in the session. So this is actually an ink blot drawing.
Okay,
so for this
just write at me, it's fine. Yep, perfect.
This is actually ink blot drawing. So what you do, you get a piece of paper that's suitable for paint. You squirt a couple like random dots around it with the paint. You close it up just like a book. You flatten it, press it out, and then it opens up and it turns into a beautiful design. So some people like to look at the design. Okay, what kind of feelings does looking at this bring up for you? Do you see any characters or animals or things like that?
I'm just looking at it going, what is it I'm seeing? And I'm trying to put my finger on exactly where it's pulling, but it's almost like those two blue dots. Like you've got pink and then you've got the yellow and the blue. They're almost like eyes looking at me for some reason. Like it's just one of the things about what you see, right? And I'm just like, why is it looking at me like that?
And then we can kind of ask the questions like, well, how does that make you feel, Teena? Like having these eyes staring at you, right?
And that's going to be in our private session and not on the show for sure.
Exactly. So there's one of that, and then you can even do like a collage. So this is great for when you first meet a client. Okay, flip through the magazines, cut out things that resonate towards you, who you are as a person, maybe potential goals you might have for your life. So collage is another great modality and example of kind of bringing out different conversations and emotions.
Okay, amazing. And what do you have, Katie?
So this one is a watercolor painting. So just sort of letting the paintbrush flow and seeing what comes out of it. And then kind of taking a step back again, looking at the colors, seeing just kind of what you were able to express. It's really interesting. And then this one here is sort of a self-affirmation painting. So using like a stamp, and then if someone's feeling down or yourself, just some cool little affirmations, you can frame it.
So and I mean, let's talk, because some people may not know. What is an affirmation, and what does it do for people?
So affirmations are statements or facts about yourself that are true and that kind of help to boost your self-esteem, little reminders to yourself. So this one says, one of a kind, I rock, I'm so real, dream big, just little reminders that we can give ourselves a little bit of a boost.
And I mean, like I know actually, I don't actually do affirmations, but I know many people who do. And I'm like, well, so tell me about them. And people are like, I'm a great mom, I'm a great wife, I'm a great son, I'm a great father, I'm great at, you know what I mean? Like just kind of reinforcing. I mean, we all do that in different ways. So some people read it out, some people talk about it, some people put a sticky note beside their mirror, and and when they're brushing their teeth, they're going through their affirmations. So there's so many different ways to do it. But I mean, I love this because you've got a piece of artwork, and I love me. Like everybody, you need to love yourself, right? Like there's that's really important. So let's talk about services. Like, are there the types of service sessions that for groups, like are there group sessions as well? Is that something that you guys do?
Yeah, we do offer group therapy, family therapy, couple session, dependent on the therapist. There's a couple different services that we offer.
And I would assume that this works really well, this is just my assumption, with children. Does it work? Is that something that works really well?
Absolutely. Our number one client would be children. Children are very visual. They love movement. They love play. They love creativity. So they're the ones that are drawn to it more. And it's probably a little bit more exciting than maybe just, regular talk therapy. It feels so intense, right? To talk to a stranger about your emotions, but having the art kind of acts as a buffer or some creative outlet. So things feel a little bit more relaxed and they can build that confidence with time.
Yeah, and then you've got qualified, talented people looking at and seeing and being able to pull from that and ask the right questions.
Yes.
Because I think you're absolutely right, like that buffer would make a big difference for a lot of people, because I think some people would be hesitant to go talk to somebody that they don't know about their inner feelings and things that have happened to them and how they're feeling, because I think for some people it's really hard to let that out.
Exactly.
Right.
Wonderful. So when you're working with kids, do they pick the slime the most? Or?
Yes, absolutely. We'll often leave the session covered in glitter and food coloring and you name it, right? But it's really fun. So yeah, I find a lot of kids love that sensory experience and interaction, and they make all kinds of slimes with different textures and things like that. So it's quite an opportunity to explore that side.
I know we touched briefly on, that everyone can benefit from this, but maybe we can go into a little bit more detail about people, some experiences that might maybe strike a nerve with somebody who's watching, like, that's happened to me, maybe, just examples, obviously nothing specific, but just types of things like, some people suffer from PTSD, some people, there's lots of different things. So maybe you just can give us a little bit of an idea of the different types of issues that you talk about without obviously telling us.
Yeah, so everything and anything. So it could be anything from depression and anxiety. Anxiety is a big one, especially amongst young people today. So you find a lot of clients come in for that. Also just coping with, different changes and transitions in their life. Maybe it's a kid coming in because there's a separation or a divorce happening in their life. Or, even the parents themselves will come in to talk about these things. So we find that, really anything that the client wants to talk about, we can work through it at their pace in whatever way that they like.
Absolutely. I mean, and I'm sure there's no limit to the number of sessions. I would think it's just as regular as going to any type of therapist, is you work through your issues, and some people it takes a lot longer and some people it's shorter, so there's kind of a variety of options for people.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And do people often do more than one modality when they're trying art therapy?
I think it's, dependent on the client and their needs. I think the therapist can kind of sort of integrate separate modalities and kind of intertwine them based on that specific client's needs and go from there,
Wonderful. Ladies, I want to thank you so much for joining us and letting us know how art can really help with therapy. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks so much.
Thanks for having us. A pleasure.
It was truly my pleasure, and thank you for joining us. Until next time, bye-bye for now. So you're going to just keep looking.
Connect with us by visiting our website or email us at comments@rogerstv.com.
Summer days, summer nights, lots of things to do, places to go, and people to see. If you're having